Well, Munky, it's
Man,
good to. I don't know whether to call you Munky or James.
you know what? Nobody does know what to call me. How about James Monkey?
James Munky. That's it. Well, I've been a long time fan of yours for a very, very long time. Here's some proof.
Oh,
Check this out.
oh, what do you got?
I've got, this is like 25 years old. I found this.
Holy
KoRn's been, yeah, so
crap.
this is like a pre-studio thing that you guys sent out, or the label sent out. And it was like, it's for Follow the Leader. And I found it. KoRn's been popping up a lot in my orbit of late. It's weird, dude. All these old tapes and stuff that I used to have. Even this, I thought you'd get a kick out of this. The Family Values VHS. Remember VHS, kids?
Man, that is so cool.
And no VHS player to play it.
I know, right? I'm going to open a VHS repair shop
That's a
next to my vinyl store.
I want to open a vinyl store. That'd be amazing. Are you a vinyl dude? You into your vinyl?
A little bit.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm all about it. But man, thanks for joining us on the show though, dude. It's really great to talk to you.
I mean, it's like, thank God for some of the technology, not all of it, but some of it, like moments like this.
Where we can, yeah, I know, where we can keep you up partying all night. Talking.
I don't need technology for that.
Yeah. Well, man, how is everything going over there? You all right? How's everyone?
Everything's going good. You know, we got a little bit of crime wave going on in LA. Some viruses floating around, some new music to kind of package it all together and balance those two crazy kind of things going on in our world. But I mean, it's good. You know, I got 3 kids. You know, being a dad at home, it's always a challenge.
I know that one, dude.
Easy. The band shit's easy.
Yeah, I know, right?
Being a dad's hard work.
Insane. It is really crazy. I'm with you, man. I'm totally with
you. You have kids?
I'm a grandpa.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I know.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know.
That's awesome. I can't wait for that.
It's good fun, man. You got plenty of time for that. But of course, I mean, the new KoRn album Requiem is out on February 4, and man, obviously not being able to tour and stuff, it gave you guys a little bit more time to focus and experiment and really get into it. How was the process this time with all that? Did you actually get together in a studio or in a room and jam it out? How did it work with everything going?
Yeah, so I give you the kind of short version because I can go down the long version, but on another day we'll do that.
All right.
But so, you know, about 2 months into the lockdown, I started going crazy because somebody that's used to freely roaming about the earth and touring and whatnot is suddenly closed down into this small, you know, not small house, but relatively small when you have 3 kids.
Yes.
And, you know, I have 7, 8 people family, you know, and so that can get mind boggling, especially when I'm trying to teach my 2nd grader online and get him to show up in front of the computer like this every day. And it was just, I was going crazy, man. And I was thinking, like, what's the one thing that makes me feel better where I don't have to resort to drugs and alcohol? And that's music. And if we can't tour, what are we going to do? You know, I can only sit and play my guitar for a couple hours a day. And it's just, you know, it satisfies me, but not like it is when I'm sitting in a room with the other guys and we're playing music. So I kind of got on the phone. Well, not kind of, but I did get on the phone and called everybody. I was like, hey, what do you guys think about getting into the studio in California and just writing, seeing what happens, you know? It didn't even matter at that point. It was just like, I don't care if we don't write anything. Let's just say we're writing something so we can all get the hell out of town and get into a room and hang out. So we safely all of us got into the studio last year around summertime.
Awesome.
After some diligent planning, and we started writing just, you know, we didn't have a label. We didn't have any time restraints. We had really so much freedom, and just, we had all the equipment, you know, we didn't need anybody except the engineer and our producer, engineer, and guitar tech. And, you know, drum tech would come in and once in a while. So that was it, kind of in the middle of this crazy lockdown pandemic. We were able to get in a room and have this freedom to create whatever we wanted, really. And it was kind of like, okay, we're about to launch the Nothing, which, you know, in 2019, we released it in October 2019, but we didn't really have it. Kind of, it's such a great batch of songs, artwork. The whole thing was ready to go. And like most other bands and artists and whatever things you were working on, that shit just came to a stop. And so it was nice to get back in and write a fresh batch of songs, or, you know, just start creating again.
Yeah. But you recorded on analog? Is that right? Talking about technology, going back. You know, how's that? That's a whole other ball game.
You know, Jonathan has been really diving deep into some of the old methods that we used back in like the early 90s.
Yeah.
With tape and analog board and some old microphones, things that we've been using for a long time, but we're just kind of refurbishing everything and making sure that everything sounds so warm, and, you know, with going through the tubes. And, you know, I've always kind of been, you know, pedal board guy with the, you know, half stack tube amps. I don't like the amp simulators, and, you know.
Yeah, the digital stuff.
So just technical stuff that we wanted it to sound as big as possible. We wanted it to sound and just take that. I don't know. Sometimes when you're writing on a computer or you're using too many plugins, the sound starts to thin out.
Yes.
And you start to lose that. When you start adding too much and too many tracks and start stacking, it loses that punch, you know.
That's one thing that I did notice about this album. It's exactly what you're saying there. It's a bit more straightforward, and it seems a little bit more stripped back, but it gives it that punch. It feels a little bit more personal, this one, where I loved the Nothing. I thought that was a fantastic album. It was big and grand and everything going on. But this one seems a little bit more personal and close.
Yeah, and I think also with just the five of us in the room writing this record, we wanted to make sure it was personal in the fact that there was no like special guests and, you know, programming or this DJ or that guy, you know. We wanted to kind of just pull it all back and just like, let's just be the five of us. I think we thought fans would appreciate it.
Yeah.
And it gave us a little more control of the direction in the end.
100%, dude. And there's things on this album that I think are really, really cool. Like the spoilers, but the song was it Lost in the Grandeur? Man, there's that. It's really subtle, but there's like that guitar where it's like speeds up and then slows down and speeds up, and it's really like it's awesome. Like that's the one thing I like. I really like that.
Listen. That was one of my favorite songs on the record, and it was a riff that Head and I have been trying to put on a record for the last 3 albums.
Oh, no way!
So I feel like that's going to be a fan favorite, because if it's a riff, and especially if you're a guitar player,
yes,
it's going to be one of those things that you kind of try to emulate, because it has a bit of a Rage Against the Machine kind of a vibe, you know, Tom Morello style-y, you know.
But it's very you, like you guys, you know. That's my favorite so far. Like, I think
I
you're
love
gonna
the
be
chorus
right.
in that song too.
Yeah, it's huge. Love it.
And then there's a little break. Spoiler alert! Another spoiler alert. There's a break. Well, no, actually, because no one's, you know, when they hear it, they'll understand what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But in the middle of that, there's this whispering part that Jonathan, you know, says, and it's just like bass and real low drums. And then it comes back with the heavy, heavy guitar. And it's really intense. And then the way that kind of walks back into the chorus is one of my favorite moments of the album.
I love it. Yeah, you're right, dude. You're right. I feel really lucky that I've heard it. So, yeah, spoilers, guys. But another big thing about a theme with all the KoRn albums is it deals with depression and mental illness and how relatable that is for a lot of people in the world. And you probably hear it a lot. You've helped a lot of people.
I mean, that really, like, when I started in a band and I knew I wanted to be in a band when I was 14 and being a big rock band, and that was my big dream as a kid, I never thought it would have such a profound impact like it has on so many people. It's more than just music. It becomes like this thing that people turn to when they're, then they feel like they're not alone. And it's given us a real purpose aside from making music that satisfies our soul. And, but that purpose is like an extra benefit that we get to share with our fans. And that relatability and the things that Jonathan and the topics that he talks about, so many people avoid in their daily life.
Yeah. And I think the thing about it is, especially right now with everything that's going on, are you getting a lot of fans reaching out through the last 2 years?
Yeah, we have. When we did a streaming event called Monumental, actually was not far from here. Literally, there's a building right.
Oh, there you go.
There. It's very close to here. And we did some meet and greets online, and we had quite a few Australians do the meet and greets. And so, hi, whoever did that. We thank you, because we got to interact and talk to people. And a lot of people, had the same sentiment, like, thank you. And, a lot of your songs helped me through, losing my parents or a best friend or good memories. Like me and my first time we saw or listened to you guys. So but especially now, because this whole pandemic has raised everybody's like anxiety level, including mine. That's why we ended up making the record, because I was going freaking crazy at home. And man, I feel like very grateful to be able to reach out and touch people, not only through those meet and greets, but hear from them. And it made us all kind of feel like there's life is going to be okay, everything's going to be all right. It's like a therapy session.
It definitely feels like, I don't know how it is for you guys over there, that I think things are going to, 2022 is where it's going to start coming back. I mean, you guys have got some dates booked with Code Orange and a few other bands. Hey, that's massive. They're a really good band. By the way,
right?
Like, I would love.
They're badass live. They're a great live band too.
Terrifying.
Terrifying.
I saw them at Download and they scared the shit out of me.
Was that Melbourne? Did we play that?
Oh, I don't know.
Or was that the year before? We played it the first year.
Yes, the first one. Yeah. Man, I would love to see that tour down here. Do you know what I'd love to see that we didn't get down here? Was like a family values tour down here in Australia. Man, just throwing it in.
I know. I know. Listen, anything's possible because I'm alive today to prove it.
Man, I don't know. Were there plans to sort of come back?
Of course. We had a whole European run booked, and then we were looking into, the end of 2020, doing Japan and Australia, New Zealand. And that was like on our radar because, we were like mapping out the whole nothing tour.
Yeah.
And it was all on, in pencil, as they say. And we were trying to figure it all out. And when they told us we weren't going to Japan for the Knotfest. I didn't believe it. I was like in this denial bubble where I was like, no, it's gonna go away. These people are just overreacting. And then there was the whole conspiracy thing. And then you started seeing fatality numbers go up, and then it was like when we got the phone call that was like, okay, the show's canceled. I was like, God.
Oh man, my best
that's
mate.
When it really hit me, like, okay, we're really not going anywhere for a few months.
He's hanging to go to that Knotfest. Will you guys still play it in Japan?
Well, I don't know if it's
because it's been
postponed.
postponed.
I hope so. I think it's still lingering out there somewhere. I don't know if they've canceled or they keep rescheduling it.
Yeah.
And then they cancel it, and Japan is it's a small country, so that shit's gonna spread like wildfire. Unless they're diligent about keeping things in order.
Well, hopefully
they're good about.
Well, that's right. And you know what? Either way, I know it's Japan because I was meant to go to that show in Japan.
Oh, really?
Because my best mate's like, that's what we're doing for your 40th. But
that's cool. Have you ever been there?
No, that was meant to be my.
Sorry.
Japan.
When you do go, you're gonna freaking love it.
I know.
It's such a cool place. It's one of my favorite places in the world.
I thought Australia was your favorite place in the world, mate.
It's up there.
It's high. It's all right. It's all right. Mate, thank you so much for hanging out on the show. And the new album, I can't say enough good things about it. Requiem is out on February 4. We'll have all the links down here. Merry Christmas to you and your family. And
thank you. Merry Christmas to you.
Get your asses down back to Australia, mate.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, man. Hey, take care. Stay safe over there, brother.